Hello students, I Deepali Mehta welcomes you on my YouTube channel Smart Learning. This is the third video of chapter number 2, Accounts of Not-for-Profit Concern. In this video, we'll start with the last slide discussed in video number 2, that is Rule of Income and Expenditure Account. Current year always add, previous year that is last year, and next year always less. This concept is very important as it will help us to solve the question easily. So let us revise it and discuss it in detail. In current year, if anything is outstanding, whether expense or income, it will be always add to income and expenditure account. And if anything is prepaid or pre-received, that is advance, it will be always less. Now this concept we have already studied in partnership final account. As you know, we always used to say that outstanding always add and prepaid and pre-received always less, as prepaid and pre-received is related to next year. Now here the new concept is previous year. Now previous year concept was not there in partnership final account. So this concept we need to understand very carefully. If anything is outstanding in the previous year, that will be less from income and expenditure account. As it is not related to current year, we will not record in income and expenditure account. Otherwise, we will not get the exact amount of surplus or deficit. Another important part is anything which is prepaid or pre-received in previous year, that will be added to current year's income and expenditure account. Now question will arise in your mind that why add? Because it is prepaid or pre-received in previous year which is related to current year. मैं अगर ऐसे बताऊं आपको कि जो current year में अगर हम prepaid और pre-received होता है, राइट तो उसको हम कैसे लेस करते हैं, जैसे फाइनल अकाउंट में हमने किया, अभी भी हमने ऊपर डिस्कस किया दैट प्रीपेड और प्री रिसीव्ड एनीथिंग इन करंट ईयर विल बी लेस बिकॉज इट इज रिलेटेड टू नेक्स्ट ईयर. तो वैसे ही कुछ भी अगर हमें प्रीपेड या प्री रिसीव्ड लास्ट ईयर यानी कि प्रीवियस ईयर में मिला होगा तो वो भी वहां से लेस किया गया होगा एज इट वाज रिसीव्ड इन प्रीवियस ईयर बट इट इज रिलेटेड टू करंट ईयर. सो करंट ईयर में ऐड होगा इन इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट. छोटा सा एग्जांपल यहाँ पे देना चाहूंगी मैं कि अगर किसी मेंबर ने एडवांस में सब्सक्रिप्शन दे दिया था प्रीवियस ईयर में रिलेटेड टू करंट ईयर, राइट, सो अभी उसका एडजस्ट तो करना पड़ेगा ना. उसने पिछले साल एडवांस दे दिया तो इस साल तो कुछ भी पे नहीं करेगा, तो इसका मतलब ये थोड़ी ना होता है कि उसकी मेंबरशिप कैंसिल हो जाएगी. सो वो जो हमने पिछले साल में से माइनस कर दिया है उसका अमाउंट, वो इस साल में हमें ऐड करना पड़ेगा टू मेक हिम एज अ मेंबर इन कंटिन्यूएशन. ओके, आई होप आपको यहाँ तक क्लियर हुआ होगा एंड दिस कॉन्सेप्ट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके, मेक अ नोट ऑफ इट. सो करंट ईयर्स आउटस्टैंडिंग and previous years prepaid or pre-received will be always add in income and expenditure account. Current year में जो कुछ भी हमें prepaid और pre-received हुआ है, it is related to next year. So that and previous years outstanding will be less from income and expenditure account. Now let us move ahead. Now we'll see the format of the receipt and payment account. This receipt and payment account will be given in the question. See, on the debit side there's a receipt side. That means debit what comes in, okay, and on the credit side there is a printing error. You can make the changes in your textbook, right over here payments, that credit what goes up. So here in receipt and payment account you can see there is a opening balance if there is a cash in hand or cash at bank, and if there is a bank overdraft you will see buy balance brought down over here. So either bank will be having a debit balance or a credit balance. Okay, this is what we have already learned in S.Y.J.C in cash book. Now on the debit side, if you can see on the receipt side, you can see subscription which is related to previous year, current year, next year. See, that is what I had explained in the difference among the receipt and payment account and income and expenditure account. That it will not see whether it is related to previous year, current year or next year. As money is being received, okay, between 1st April to 31st March of the current year, it will record, but at the time of posting into the income and expenditure account or in the balance sheet of the current year, we have to bifurcate these values. Then only we will be able to find out the exact amount of surplus and deficit and the financial position of the not-for-profit concern. Then see entrance fees, admission fees, this all terms with it, life membership fees, legacies, government grant, donation general, donation specific. Examples are given like building fund, prize fund, tournament fund, etc. This all concepts I had taken in the last week. Then dividend received, higher rent of hall, sundry income, sell of old materials or sell of old newspapers or scrap, miscellaneous receipts, tournaments receipts. This all are revenue incomes of the organization. Tuition fees, term fees, collection of fine, locker rent, exam fees, Okay, here you have to just add to sell of asset. This is not being mentioned in this particular format. So you just add this one particular item of receipt side, that is to sell of asset. Now if you must have observed that here no specific funds, that means related to liabilities or specific donations or life membership fees, these all are capital receipt. Even the sale of asset is a capital receipt. Okay, and along with that we saw the revenue receipt also. So that is what I had explained in the last video also, that receipt and payment account. Okay, that bifurcation I had shown that on the receipt side there are two types of receipt: revenue receipt and capital receipt. Okay, revenue receipt will go to income and expenditure account, income side, and the capital receipt, if there is a sale of asset, it will be less from asset, and the funds like building fund, prize fund, tournament fund, life membership fees will go to balance sheet liability side. Okay, then here on the payment side there's a salaries, again previous year, current year, so you can add over here next year also, because everywhere it is given in that format. Same way in the rent, rates and taxes, previous year, current year, next year. Okay, this all are expenses. Revenue expenditure, so printing and stationery, general expenses, interest on bank loan, electricity charges, audit fees, tournament expenses, wages, purchase of sports material. This all are regular expenditure, revenue expenditure. So it will go to expenditure side of the income and expenditure account. Which are the capital expenditure? So if you can see fixed deposit, purchase of fixed assets like books, furniture, building, investments, this all are capital expenditure. So now this is purchase of an asset, so it will go to balance sheet asset side. And if we have paid any liabilities, like this says that bank overdraft has been paid, so that will be our capital expenditure, and that will be deducted from the liabilities. Now here if you can see there is a closing balance again of cash in hand or cash at bank, and if there is a bank overdraft you will see the balance carried down over here. Now this particular receipt and payment account will be given in the question, and that will work as a trial balance for us. Here I would like to emphasize on two important points, that the opening balance given in the receipt and payment account, okay, will be nullified. That means कि last year की balance sheet में भी वो already recorded होगा, और जो लास्ट ईयर का जो क्लोजिंग बैलेंस था कैश इन हैंड और कैश एट बैंक का, वही हमारा यहाँ पे ओपनिंग बैलेंस बन गया. तो दो इफेक्ट ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे अभी उसका कोई तीसरा इफेक्ट आएगा नहीं. सो इन करंट ईयर वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू रिकॉर्ड द ओपनिंग बैलेंस. ओके, जो क्लोजिंग बैलेंस है वो हमारा करंट ईयर के बैलेंस शीट में एसेट साइड जाएगा इफ इट इज अ कैश इन हैंड एंड कैश एट बैंक. If it is a bank overdraft, then it will go to liabilities. Okay, so जो current year का closing balance है वो ही सिर्फ current year की balance sheet में record होगा. अगर हमें last year की balance sheet बनानी पड़े, okay, to find out the opening capital, as we discussed in the last video regarding what will be given in the question and what you are supposed to prepare in the answer, तो अगर हमें opening balance sheet बनानी पड़े तो ही ये record होगा. ओके, अगर हमें ओपनिंग बैलेंस शीट बना के दे दी है या कैपिटल फंड ऑलरेडी दे दिया है अलॉन्ग विद द लास्ट ईयर्स एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज, तो फिर ये ओपनिंग बैलेंस कहीं पे भी रिकॉर्ड होगा नहीं. दूसरा इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट, एज आई सेड दैट रिसिप्ट एंड पेमेंट अकाउंट इज गोइंग टू वर्क एज अ ट्रायल बैलेंस फॉर अस. So in trial balance, whatever the items are given, that will carry only one effect. Same way, if the opening balance sheet is given or any sort of assets and liabilities of last year is given, then it will carry only one effect, because उसका effect already last year के balance sheet में हो चुका है. Now let us see the format of income and expenditure account. See, over here on the debit side that will be expenditure, and on the credit side income, because income and expenditure account is a nominal account. On the top you have to write income and expenditure account for the year ended 31st March, whatever the year is. At the corner debit and credit, because it is an account, it's a nominal account. On the top you have to write in the books of, okay, and then debit all expenses and losses and credit all incomes and gains, that we have to follow. Here you are not supposed to write particulars. Now see, on the debit side all revenue expenditure you will see, because in income and expenditure account capital receipt or capital expenditure will not be recorded, that will be recorded in the balance sheet. So like salaries, now less paid for last year. See, just now we discussed that anything which is related to last year, okay, will be less. So this amount must be outstanding, okay, paid for last year, so it will be minus. paid for next year, so it's an advance, so it will be less. And add outstanding, so it must be current years. And add prepaid for last year, that means it was prepaid in the last year. हमने सैलरी एडवांस में लास्ट ईयर ही पे कर दिया था, सो इसलिए सैलरी में अभी वो क्या होगा, ऐड होगा. देन वेजेस, प्रिंटिंग एंड स्टेशनरी, ऑल द एक्सपेंसेस हैव बीन रिकॉर्डेड. हियर द इम्पोर्टेंट पार्ट इज सी opening stock, like for stationery, for postal stamps, or for sports material. They can give you such kind of opening and closing stock adjustment. So opening stock, that means last year's closing stock becomes opening stock over here, so add purchases and closing stock will be less from here. So you will get exact amount of stationery consumed or utilized. That way, same way sports material or postal stamps, whatever the case has been given. This is the new concept in the not-for-profit concern. This we haven't done in the partnership final account. Then other expenses like depreciation, loss and sale of asset, etc. Alright. Then on the credit side, same way, if you can see less received for last year. So anything which is received for last year will be less. Received for next year, anything which is received for next year will be less. Received during last year for current year, मतलब पिछले साल में मिला था as an advance related to current year, इसके लिए वो क्या हो गया, add हो गया. ठीक है, तो अभी मैंने आपको जो चार्ट के थ्रू एक्सप्लेन किया, ओके, वो अगेन दोबारा इनकम के लिए भी हो गया. सेम वे हमने सैलरीज के लिए देखा, द सेम कॉन्सेप्ट अप्लाइज ऑन इनकम ऑल्सो. सो and add outstanding for current year. Then other incomes like rent received, interest received, dividend received, government grant which is general, so ground rent, sundry receipts, entrance receipts, that is revenue. Okay, same way आपको नीचे entrance fee भी दिया है, admission fee, donation if it is general, then profit on sale of asset. Now once will you close this account, if there is a credit balance as per income and expenditure account, credit balance मतलब credit का अगर total ज़्यादा आता है, so you will derive surplus. और आपको ब्रैकेट में क्या लिखना है, एक्सेस ऑफ इनकम ओवर एक्सपेंडिचर, ये लिखना ही है. सिर्फ आप टू सरप्लस लिखोगे नहीं चलेगा. एंड इफ देयर इज अ डेबिट बैलेंस एज पर इनकम एंड एक्सपेंडिचर अकाउंट, यू विल डिराइव डेफिसिट, दैट इज एक्सेस ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर ओवर इनकम, यानी खर्चा ज्यादा है और इनकम कम है, राइट. सो दैट वे यू हैव टू मेंशन. नाउ लेट अस सी द फॉर्मेट ऑफ द बैलेंस शीट. यू हैव टू राइट ऑन द टॉप बैलेंस शीट एज ऑन 31st March. Like we were used to write in the partnership final account, the format is the same, liabilities amount, assets amount. Now here the different part is because there are no partners, okay. So यहाँ पे हम लोग कोई कैपिटल अकाउंट अलग से नहीं बनाएंगे. Here on the liability side itself, कैपिटल फंड हम लोग इनर कॉलम में लिखेंगे जो हमें ओपनिंग बैलेंस दिया होगा, okay, in the question in the form of last year's balance sheet, या फिर एडजस्टमेंट में कैपिटल फंड दिया होगा. और अगर नहीं दिया है, हमें सिर्फ एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज का इंफॉर्मेशन दिया है लास्ट ईयर का, तो हमें वर्किंग नोट में ओपनिंग बैलेंस शीट बना के ओपनिंग कैपिटल ढूंढना है, लाइक अ सिंगल एंट्री सिस्टम वी डिड इन दी S.Y.J.C. देन डोनेशन कैपिटलाइज, एंट्रेंस फीस कैपिटलाइज, अगर ये सब हमें इंफॉर्मेशन दिया है क्वेश्चन में, तो दैट वे वी हैव टू कैपिटलाइज मीन्स एड टू कैपिटल फंड. सो दिस ऑल बेस्ड ऑन एडजस्टमेंट्स. तो ये ऐड होगा, अगर सरप्लस हुआ तो भी ऐड होगा, लेकिन अगर डेफिसिट हुआ तो क्या होगा, लेस होगा. Okay, so you will derive the closing capital, that means current year's capital in the outer column. Then see building fund, endowment fund, tournament fund, special fund, charity fund, ये जो सारे funds है ये हमारे liabilities होते हैं. It is a liability till the time it's not been used for that specific purpose. यानी कि अगर for example कि building का construction किया तो फिर बिल्डिंग में से उतना पैसा माइनस हो जाएगा या पूरा पैसा माइनस हो जाएगा, तो फिर वो हमारा भी लायबिलिटी रहेगा नहीं, बिकॉज दैट मनी वी हैव केप्ट असाइड फॉर दैट स्पेसिफिक एक्सपेंस ओनली. अब ये टूर्नामेंट फंड बनाया है, तो अगर टूर्नामेंट हो गया एंड ऑल द मनी गॉट एग्जॉस्टेड, हमने पूरा यूटिलाइज कर लिया, तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, अभी हमारा लायबिलिटी रहेगा नहीं, बिकॉज वी यूज दैट पर्टिकुलर अमाउंट फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर इवेंट ओनली और एक्सपेंस ओनली. देन सन्ड्री क्रेडिटर्स, बैंक ओवरड्राफ्ट, अदर लोन, आउटस्टैंडिंग एक्सपेंसेस, प्री रिसीव्ड इनकम्स, लाइफ मेंबरशिप फीस. ओके, ये भी हमने डिस्कस किया था और मैंने अभी आपको रिसिप्ट एंड पेमेंट में भी वापस रिपीट बताया कि दिस इज अ कैपिटल रिसिप्ट. दिस विल बी रिकॉर्डेड इन द बैलेंस शीट ऑन द लायबिलिटीज साइड. नाउ ऑन द एसेट इट इज एज सिमिलर टू what we have already done in the partnership final account. यहाँ पे asset side में real account record होगा, personal account which carries a debit balance वो record होगा, जैसे हम लोगों ने partnership final account में किया था. So Real account means fixed assets, current assets, in fixed assets, tangible and intangible assets will be recorded. So here you can see the examples like cash in hand, cash at bank, okay, fixed deposit, investment. Now sundry debtor is a personal account. Okay. Then land building, furniture and fixture, plant and machinery, equipments, playground, motor vehicles, library books. Now you can see over here library books sort of example, because it is a non-trading organization, right? So according to the question, some of the assets will change. Like if the question is related to hospital, then you will see over here hospital equipments or surgical equipments. If it is related to schools, then you will see the library books or laboratory equipments. So the different assets will be asked in the question as per the association. Now stock of sports material, stock of stationery, stock of drugs. This all we did just now in the income and expenditure account. This is nothing but a closing stock of sports materials, closing stock of stationery, closing stock of drugs. So if it is a medicine, then stock of drug. Remaining stock has been recorded in the assets. Then loans and advances given, accrued interest, prepaid expenses, outstanding income. This is all we have already done in the partnership final account. So only few parts are new, otherwise rest all items are the same of the balance sheet. Okay, I hope यहाँ तक आपको clear हुआ होगा. Now in the next class, we'll do the different adjustments of not-for-profit concern with the help of these small practical questions. So you will understand it in a better way. I hope यहाँ तक आपको clear हुआ होगा. If you have any doubt, please put it in the comment box. I will reply to the same. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Keep watching, keep learning and keep sharing. Take a very good care of yourself and your family. Bye-bye.